Wake up. I know you're bored watching Utah's point guard John Stockton run the show. But if I were you, I wouldn't sleep on Stockton's game.
15-footer. He got it. Stockton.
Never do that. That's a big mistake.
Stockton with the steal.
See, Stock, he'll slay you. Cut you down the side. Send you to bed with game-winning jumpers. Game-winning steals.
Stockton steals.
Game-winning assists. In other words, tuck you in, kiss your good night. For 14 years, he's been dropping dimes on his man, Karl Malone. He sees plays develop in his head that aren't there. Then boom! He makes them happen. He's the NBA's all-time leader in assists and steals. He keeps it real rocking the old school 1970 shorts. The 1980s haircut. Old school! He keeps the white men can't jump myth alive. He makes us all understand that basketball is not just a black sound. It's his presence on both ends of the court that keeps his opponents wide awake.
Picks up another. And gets on his feet.
Sometimes the hero is the guy who makes the pass or makes the defensive play, not necessarily the guy who makes the shot.
He's crafty, sneaky. While some bring the pain, Stockton just delivers the agony. If Karl Malone is the mailman,
The mailman hammered up.
call John Stockton Mr. FedEx, delivering the world on time.
Stockton hits the three. It's over.
It's the NBA Finals live. It is Game 4, the all-important Game 4. Many people have been saying, they who winneth this game winneth the series. 39-37 at the moment, 2-point lead for the Chicago Bulls over the Utah Jazz. And we just saw Scoop Jackson with his tribute to John Stockton in classic John Stockton form. And Jim Braden, this may be the major problem, because we've not seen this John Stockton pretty much in this series and certainly not in this game.
Yeah, give credit to Chicago for the tough defense, but you know, the vintage Stockton would make a difference. I mean, a heck of a difference. He's a class performer. The skill is unbelievable, and he leads. I think he's the leader of the team, because when he gets going, Malone and everyone else around him, though they're superstars, they step up because he just feeds them. And I just think that they have to get him going some kind of way. One of the things we were talking about earlier is that whether or not you know, Utah's playing traditionally like they traditionally have been doing, basically setting screens and doing things to get each other open. Hornacek and Stockton have to score for them to be successful, and they're not getting them open. Okay, and I think that's something that maybe because the LA series was so easy,
Yeah.
you know, there's a dawdle, there's a walk in the park.
Yeah.
And now they're against that toughest defensive team in the world. Now they have to go back to the fundamentals, and they're just not doing it.
I think this is perhaps what, you know, people watching, even if they don't know technically what's going on out there, what they're used to seeing when the Jazz are playing is plenty of space when they're attacking. They just can't create that space, can they?
Space, you know, via screening and ball movement and all sorts of things like that, you know, penetration and kicking and, you know, just creating a nightmare for the defense constantly with running, you know, all sorts of different counters at them. And we're just not seeing that now. Just kind of, you know, they look really lackluster, I think, on the attack.
Well, as you said to me, they need to score points because certainly the Bulls are getting theirs at the other end. And in that first half, Michael and Tony Kukoc were looking particularly good.
Yeah, I mean, Tony came out and did very well at the beginning of the game. You know, Michael Jordan there with a nice little move, finger roll. He has decisively made up his mind that, you know, the guys are shooting too many jump shots. I'm going to get some things going inside. Tony outside with that three-pointer there. And they kind of fell in love with that for a while. I think we called it before it happened.
Yeah.
That they, you know, we knew that they were shooting too many. They were going down, but sooner or later it catches up with you, and you have to compliment it with going to the bucket. And no one did it but, you know, the excellent one, Sir Jordan.
Exactly. And when it comes to doing it when it matters, I mean, there we saw at the end of that first half, Jordan once again a crucial play.
That's right. I mean, a mistake letting him get it in the first place. Nice little spin move there, and then up and under. He maybe has lost an inch or two off his vertical, but he's still his airness. Michael Jordan still can elevate and make those type of shots in the clutch. So tremendous.
In this second half, the worry's got to be for Utah is that they might have wanted to put a few more points between them and the Bulls in that first half. And the fact that Jordan hasn't really got going yet, but it's setting himself up for a classic Jordan game. That last quarter when he takes over. I mean, they've got that to face yet, the Jazz.
Yeah, I don't think Chicago's gotten going. I think it was a perfect situation, whereas, you know, with 39 points, that Chicago scored not a lot, and you know, once they do step up, with Utah not taking the initiative in the first half, the Chicago crowd's so lazy they don't, you know, they come back from the bar probably in the last quarter finally to cheer a little bit, you know, and that's when Utah find out that they haven't given themselves some space.
Do you see this as a game which could ultimately decide the winner? I mean, you know, it is the middle one. It is game 4. Well, there's game 5 on Friday. Of course, the Jazz, if they can win that one, if the Bulls win this one. But you suspect that this one is where it might get won or lost.
Yeah, you're talking about law of probability here. I mean, you know, can Chicago win if Utah win this game? Yes. But I don't think that Utah can win it if they lose today. So it's more of a matter of life and death for Utah as opposed to Chicago.
Yeah. Let's get back to a point you were making earlier on. As a coach, you talk about the rotation. Now, explain, as a coach, what that means that you need to do. In other words, what Jerry Sloan needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, as a you know, basketball is a chemistry sport. It's a team sport. You know, the socialism and everything comes out. And, you know, it's important to have you know, your rotations as to the people you go to, your go-to men, the complementary players, and you know, when you need a run, when you need certain things to happen in the game, who do you put in? And it seems that Utah is not necessarily, from my observation, doing it the way they have done over the course of the season. The rotations, it looks like they're looking for someone to step up, and no one's not necessarily doing it. So the players who've been doing it in the past are getting taken out of the game and not really. I mean, Antoine Carr is a perfect example.
Yeah.
I think I thought he was going to be a very important element in this series, and nothing.
And there he wasn't. Exactly. That's right.
You know.
Well, Ian and Mike back at the court. The coach here is talking about the chemistry that the Utah Jazz are renowned for, and Jerry Sloan, in this game in particular, he really hasn't managed to get it right yet, has he?
I think he's really searching for the right combination of players. We were talking about it earlier in that first half, gentlemen. Jerry Sloan, instead of shortening his bench, and that's something you usually see from a head coach once you get to this stage of the season, the NBA Finals, he's actually lengthened his bench in this game, Mike.
Yeah, he has. He's gone a little bit deeper into the bench, and it's ironic. When he was down 2-1 in the Houston series, he did shorten his bench and wound up putting Keefe on the bench and playing Russell a lot more minutes. So I'm a little surprised at what he's doing, but you know what, Ian? It's a lot better than he was in Game 3. It's 39-37. The Bulls have only a 2-point lead.
So at halftime, the Utah Jazz very much alive as they try to tie this series at 2 games apiece. The Bulls hoping to take a commanding 3-1 lead. Let's take a look at the halftime highlights here at the United Center, and we start with Karl Malone.
Yeah, inside. That's vintage Stockton to Malone. Easy layup as he runs up the floor. Then after he pounds it a little bit, goes with that hook he talked about.
Malone, he was hot in that first quarter, just like in Game 3.
Here he is. He faces up, Iron, looks at the defense, then just shoots over it, and he's starting to hit that jumper a little bit.
For the Bulls, it was the combination of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Same combination that they've used throughout their first 5 championships as they try to make it 6 this year.
Yeah, Jordan with a jumper there as he forced that in with the kick with the right foot. And then vintage Jordan inside where he goes down low and just scoops it up. Too strong for Hornacek down there.
The other half of the tandem, Pippen. Defense has been what Pippen's used to really stand out in this series, but not tonight. It's been all offense.
4 for 6 from 3-point range. There you see another one. And he really fell in love with that shot, as did his teammates. He hits it again. But you have to depend on going to the rim a little bit also.
In the second quarter, more of Pippen.
As he goes down low with a couple fakes, he gets the layup.
Pippen doing it inside, outside. Scottie Pippen felt it. You get that vibe as a player every now and again, and he had it.
Especially when you hit shots like that. You come off a screen and you use the glass high up off the glass for that vintage jump in. And there's Kukoc from the outside.
But for the Utah Jazz, it was John Stockton, and there's no doubt they're going to need a big effort from Stockton, not necessarily scoring, which he did do in that second quarter, but also dishing the ball off. In the end, though, it's always Jordan. It starts with him, it ends with him.
Yeah, he gets a shot block there, but Chicago gets it back. And they keep this possession alive, and Jordan will wind up getting a layup off this, or a little kiss off the glass. There's the bank shot by Pippen. It doesn't go, but look at Jordan right there, and the ball comes to him.
16 points in the first half of action for Michael Jordan on 6 of 14 shooting. Second half is coming up. Right now, let's send it back to the studio. Webbo and Coach.
So nothing in it in terms of points, only 2 in it but you'd have thought the Jazz would have wanted to be away by now if they thought they're going to have a chance of winning this one. When we come back, we'll be back at the game, and we're bringing that second half live.
Cheers! What was that? That was cold.
Gentlemen, let me explain. I'm a freelance scientist. It's technically known as a judder. When the chill-filtered snaps in nets is served just above freezing, it kind of monkeys around with the body's periodontal atrium.
I think I've just had my first jugger.
Best of all, it's totally humane. Well, almost.
Balbon, what is this?
Do not be fooled by its innocent exterior, for inside the mega trouble one encounters an exquisite experience that verges on the scandalous.
Oh, stop.
A luxuriant chocolate truffle, nestling seductively at the heart of creamy vanilla ice cream. The delirium of pleasure received in its devouring is quite unprecedented.
Oh, stop. Your megatropole is wicked.
Yes, it is rather good, isn't it?
So it's game 4, 2-point lead for the home team, which of course is the Chicago Bulls. Alongside me we have former Boston Celtic and coach nowadays, Jim Braden, because the old knees, they won't take it no more, right?
They creak.
Yeah. Okay, let's throw forward into this second half now. I mean, from what you've seen in that first half, have you kind of got in your mind's eye a picture of how you think this one's going to go?
I think probably Utah's going to the locker room and said, "Listen, guys, this is you know, this is it. We have to put it all out and let it lay on the court and walk off with everything just there and see if we can come up with the win here." I think that's going to be their objective. I think probably the coach will probably narrow his rotations down a little bit. He's gone deep into his bench. Maybe go with his mainstay guys, and I think we'll see them trying to win it down the stretch.
Do you think this is the kind of like over-the-top gung-ho moment for Jerry Sloan to say to the fellas, look, this half is do or die?
I think so, and I think you know, the mainstay players, the veterans have to instill that as well. The players themselves and the younger players, and getting that chemistry again that they were so famous for. It seems to be gone now from the chemistry. I think if they can get that back, it'll be okay, and it'll be a great game down the stretch.
And I guess Phil Jackson couldn't be more happy, because Phil Jackson gets to do what he likes to do, which is just be cool. Be calm, and just keep it going, guys.
Because he has so many leaders on his team, you know, he can sit back and just say it, and the guys just take it out, and you know, people like Jordan and Pippen make sure that it goes through, and that's the luxury I think he has, and I think that's why, you know, Malone isn't thought of on the same level as Jordan, because he hasn't led his team to a championship and done the things he's done as far as leadership is concerned.
Absolutely. Well, that's the way it should go. And back with you guys in the United Centre there, Ian and Mike. I mean, when you look into those players' eyes there, do you sense that that we've got a Bulls team thinking they're on the way, or a Jazz team that thinks they can get back into this? How does it feel for you two?
I would say a little bit of both for Webbo and Coach. I think the Bulls honestly believe that they can put the finishing touches on the Utah Jazz here tonight. And as you guys mentioned, no, it's not a true elimination game, but it has the feel of that, because everybody in this building knows that if the Bulls take that 3-1 lead and they smell blood, odds are they're going to wrap it up in 5 games come 2 nights from now.
Absolutely. And the thing is, Ian, with Utah, with their logic, what they're thinking now has to be keep it close. Keep it close. Give the Jazz a chance to win late in the game, because if the Bulls go on that run, I don't know how much Utah will have left in the tank to come back.
And Webbo, I think we'll find out first couple of minutes here in the third quarter whether or not Utah is very tight.
Yeah, it's a good point, because Jim, so far in this series, I think probably 10's about as big a run as we've ever seen. It's been a very unusual basketball series where you often see runs deciding things. They've just been nip and tuck all the way.
Yeah, it's almost like we're waiting for whichever team is going to do it to explode, and it's been pretty subdued, both teams offensively, and nothing has been decisive. So we're looking for someone to really step up either side, either way, you know, and seeing what's going to happen.
The problem for the Jazz is that if it remains this kind of game, 3, 4, 5 minutes to go, you know, Michael's had his rest. He comes in the last quarter with about 7 minutes left. and it all goes through him, I mean, that's got to be the Jazz's worry.
Yeah, I mean, if it's close, probably favor a little bit Chicago. If Chicago gets the lead, it favors them. I mean, the most important thing, I think, for the Jazz is concerned is not to let them get any sort of big runs like they did last game and to get their offensive goals. Remember, the reason why they got blown out last game is not because Chicago scored a tremendous amount of points, but because Utah didn't score what they normally score. So I think offensively is more important for Utah right now than even their defense.
Yeah, and that's what John Stockton had to say, guys, after the Game 3 blowout loss. They just have to get back to fundamentals. And it's rare that you'll hear a player say that during the NBA Championship Series, but that's exactly what Utah was facing, gentlemen, because of that poor performance in the last game.
And I'll tell you what, their offense wasn't great in the first half, but their defense certainly did keep them in it because they only scored 37, but you hold the Bulls to 39. And the Bulls, of course, are a lot more explosive with Pippen and Jordan, who can create their own shots or create for others. Really, in Utah's offensive case, it's Stockton and Malone, and they have to set screens to do it, whereas the Chicago players could do it off the dribble, which makes it a little bit easier.
The Chicago Bulls are 32-4 during the playoffs here at the United Center. They used to play just across the street at the Chicago Stadium. They built this brand new arena about 5 years ago, and it has served them well. They start the third quarter with a 2-point lead, 39-37. Bulls with the basketball. Pippen on a back end with Stockton. Ball knocked around for a moment. Pippen gets it back. Pippen off the mark. Longley can't grab it. It's knocked out of bounds, and the Jazz will have it.
Well, the Jazz come right out defensively to start the third quarter, get the Bulls to miss, and now they take over. That has to help their confidence a little bit.
Let's see if they convert on their first possession of the second half. Malone, yes.
See, what Malone is doing on Longley now, of course he's hitting the shot. He didn't do that in games 1 and 2. But he gets the ball and he brings it down a little bit, Ian, and that sort of just freezes Longley to give Malone the avenue to shoot.
All tied up, 39-39. Jordan is hacked, and he will take a trip to the free throw line.
Here's Malone. Now he'll get the ball. Longley on him, see, he gets it, goes down a little bit, just gets Longley to freeze a second. That's all it takes to get the shot up.
Luke Longley is playing with 3 personal fouls.
Well, he got them in a hurry, too, in that second quarter.
He sure did. Why is that? There are certain players that you'll see come through this league that are always in foul trouble. And whenever I think of Luke Longley, that's what I think of, a guy that's constantly in foul trouble. He's got talent, but he has to stay on the floor.
Well, he's big, Ian. He's very visible to the officials as Jordan makes 1 of 2. And then he doesn't move his feet well, and he reaches, so you get fouls that way.
Bulls lead by 1. Stockton on a crossover. He got into the lane, got a pass off to Keefe, and had it rejected. Harper losing the ball. Stockton playing both ends of the floor. He knocked it away. Hornacek, hesitation move. The leaner, no good. Popped up in the air, and Pippen controls. Missed opportunities. The Jazz had a couple. Kukoc. Keep it out on the perimeter for Pippen. 3-pointer. And Russell claims the rebound.
Yeah, that's not a good offensive possession there. A couple passes and a long 3-pointer. Phil Jackson would like to see that ball go down low a little bit, maybe to Jordan, try to create something.
Bulls are shooting a dismal 33%. Adam Keefe can't hit. Jordan will handle the ball himself. Just about 2 minutes gone by here in the third. They swing it over to Kukoc. He's guarded by Keefe. This is Harper. 2-man game with Kukoc. Pippen off the double. Harper, hard drive to the rim.
See, that's what Harper needs to do. He's just standing out there being a statue making passes. But when there's so much concentration on Pippen and Jordan, Harper has to do something with the basketball.
He used to be a 20-point scorer in this league when he played for the Cavaliers and the Los Angeles Clippers. Now he's a defensive specialist. Great feed underneath. Karl Malone, the recipient, as Jeff Hornacek got it to him.
I think Phil Jackson has to make a change and get Longley out of there. He's not doing anything. Malone scoring too easily.
15 points for Malone. And a timeout taken. 9:18 to play in the third quarter. The Bulls lead the Jazz 42-41. Our coverage will continue in a moment.
There's 53 Rosalie Avenue, Daventry, Hilltop, Hill Rise, Mill Green, Aberdeen, Dunroman, Home Sweet Home in Broadstairs, Smallstairs, Fletcher in Aberdare, Treetop, Seaview, Shaynoo, 22 Mews in Catford, Bungalows in Walthamstow.
Do you have a nice view? Lettsby Avenue, number 8, Harrogate, Patio Garden Gate, Thatch near Hatch-End, Cul-de-sac and Crouch-End, timber frame, window frame.
Dunroman again.
2 up,
2 down.
anywhere, anytown, centers in suburbia, couldn't be suburbia. Front door, black door, greenhouse, new house, happy home in High Street, My Street,
Another Dunroman.
Whoever you are, whenever you want to buy a home, it pays to decide Nationwide.
Welcome back. 42-41, a 1-point lead now for the Bulls. And just to remind you how you can get involved in the NBA Finals is via our very own website. Of course, it's been running all the way through our season. And we're looking for you to pick your MVP from the finals. And I can tell you that so far, we have 2 men in front. It is Michael Jordan and Karl Malone. No major surprises there. But if you want to add to that, or if you want to change it, if you want to put in your own 10 bobs worth, www.channel4.com. That's www.channel4.com. Cast your vote now for the MVP in these NBA Finals. Okay, I'm sure you're seeing plenty of guys out there who you think may be candidates, and things could change as the evening progresses, because we're looking for heroes and villains for the rest of this game. Chance now to get back to the floor and Iron and Mike.
All right, Webbo, thank you. Bulls lead it 42-41. Oh, how the NBA has grown over the years. The international broadcasting crew on hand here at the United Center. Such interest around the world in the NBA. And it continues to grow. The interest now for the Utah Jazz just trying to stay afloat in this series. They trail 2-1. This is game 4. And the Bulls lead by 1 with 9:14 remaining in the third. Jordan breaking free for the slam.
Hornacek went for the steal, but Jordan held him off with that strong body and arms. He got the ball, the avenue wide open. He slams it home.
Bulls extend their lead. Jordan has 19. Stockton surveying the scene. He's one-on-one with Harper. Looks. Dumps it down low for Malone. Hornacek coming across, going behind the back. Shot clock winding down. Little hook shot, and Malone gets the roll.
This is like a heavyweight fight, Ian. Utah throws it into Malone, and he's like hitting people in the body there. Not literally, but when you come down and double team him because he's scoring, then we'll open it up in the perimeter.
Malone with 17, and Pippen answers right back.
See, as opposed to the Chicago, when they score, it's really just stays on the perimeter, and either Jordan or Pippen create something. Whereas Malone gets it, he's scoring, but when you double team him, then Hornacek, Stockton, other people will be open.
18 points for Pippen. On the interior, Brian Russell drawing the foul on Kukoc. Kukoc having a little chat with Scottie Pippen following that call. This was Jordan breaking loose as Russell overcommitted.
Yeah, Russell overcommitted, and Jordan went right to the basket. That's what you should do. Now Malone will get it. Longley on there, and Malone just using that big body to screen Longley out of there, and he scores.
Free throws for Brian Russell. It's been a quiet night, only 3 points. He tacks on one there, and the Jazz are within 2. Dennis Rodman coming out of the locker room. Probably working on the bike because he does not start. He likes to continue to sweat and stay limber. This is a new role for Rodman. He's not accustomed to this coming off the bench.
No, he likes to start too, and he goes in, he stays warm. He's 37 years old, needs to take care of those bones.
1-point game. Pippen forced to get it to the outside. Kukoc can't hit the three. Jordan, right place, right time. Jordan, baseline jump, side of the backboard. And Malone wrestles the ball away, and Utah with a chance to take the lead. Stockton for Malone, the jumper. And Pippen was there. Longley mid-post. He'll back in. Longley losing the ball for a moment. He got it back. But a jump ball has been called. Karl Malone tying up Luke Longley. I thought either a foul or traveling would be called.
I'm with you, Ian. I don't know where you come up with a jump ball. A jump ball normally is when the ball is tied up with two players, Malone and, say, Longley in this case. If they just hold it, and that's when you jump it up. But that ball was loose most of the time. And I agree with you, Ian. It's a walk, traveling violation, or there may be a foul called in there.
Or a no call.
Or leave it alone.
It'll be Stockton with Longley, so obviously Chicago with the advantage, and they control the tap. On the outside, Harper. Harper, the hole was clogged up by Stockton. Into a crowd, Kukoc is there.
But the reason why the pass made it is because Harper used the bounce pass variety. So the hands are up, you can't get at the ball down low.
Ron Harper nearly had a triple-double in game 3. He's had a good all-around effort here so far tonight. But Utah right back. John Stockton.
Yeah, Kukoc again, Ian, lost defensively. Keith just wide open.
Keith was there, getting the pass from Stockton. And Keith now has 6 points. Whistle stops play on the other end of the floor. Jeff Hornacek disagreeing with the call.
Here's the play, screen and roll. Malone sets the screen, and beautiful pass inside to Keith, and Kukoc right behind, wondering what's going on.
Foul called on Hornacek. That's number 2. Dennis Rodman into the game for Luke Longley. Jump shot short from Jordan. Rodman pays off dividends instantly. Jordan comes up and barely grazes the rim. Utah once again can take the lead. Russell ducks into the lane. Layup no good, but a whistle.
I think Harper will get a foul here. See, Jordan was late getting back, so it was 5-on-4. And that's what you do when you have the numbers. You go to the rim, and Russell will get 2 free throws.
For Harper, that's his 2nd foul. And with Utah down by 1, Russell at the free throw line. He's got a chance to put the Jazz in front. Here's the first. No good. 6:16 to play in the 3rd.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the first 6 minutes or so of this quarter, Utah has done a great job of staying close. I mean, you know Chicago would love to bury them. Russell uncharacteristically misses 2 free throws. Chicago would love to bury them like they did in the 3rd quarter the other night, but Utah will not let that happen yet.
For the most part, Utah maintaining composure here in the 2nd half. But as we know with the Bulls, they can bring on a run, and they can bring it on in a hurry. Jordan on a spin. Hesitation. And a foul. Hornacek once again dismayed by the whistle.
Well, see, Jordan felt he was fouled before when he didn't hit anything, more or less. And this time he figures if he goes to the hoop strong, something will happen, and there he is at the line to shoot 2.
Well, the World Championships will be taking place in Athens, Greece. Late July, early August, held every 4 years. The World Championships of basketball will be held this year at the Peace and Friendship Arena at Athens Olympic Stadium. 16 countries will participate. This has not been a game of runs by any stretch. Utah had a 7-0 run. Chicago has had an 8-0 run, but for the most part, these two teams have played to a standstill.
And after the made free throws, Chicago comes out in a full court press to try to cause a turnover.
Howard Isley, ball handling skills now in the game. Russell to bounce. Malone underneath. He blew the layup. And a loose ball foul.
And that's big turnaround there. Malone has an easy layup. He has to make it, Ian. You break the pressure, but then he misses it, and what does he do? He fouls to compound the problem. That's great for Utah. They break the pressure. Look at this. Easy layup. Malone takes his concentration off and then fouls Rodman.
Back the other way. Pippen gets the deuce, hanging in the air for the layup.
And instead of a one-point game, now it goes to 5 after that make by Scottie Pippen.
Pippen has 20. Now the crowd getting juiced up. Isley guarded tightly by Harper. Shot clock is down to 8. Malone. Keefe couldn't hold on to the pass, and the Bulls come away with the ball. Jordan fires it inside for Pippen, and Keefe is forced to foul from behind.
What a beautiful pass. I think Sloan might have to think about a timeout here. The Jazz have kept it close. Now all of a sudden Chicago going on one of those runs. Watch this pass by Jordan. Off the dribble, bang, right there. Pippen with the soft hands gets a nice hack.
Missed free throws, missed layup. And now the Jazz find themselves in a potentially precarious position. But Pippen missing on the free throw.
I know Malone wants to be unselfish and get people involved, but on that play with 6 seconds on the shot clock when he received it, I think he needed to take something to the rim, make it happen for himself.
You keep asking yourself, when will Stockton and Malone begin to take over? It hasn't happened yet. And now Jerry Sloan will take a timeout. 4:59 remaining in the third here at the United Center. Fans are on their feet. The Bulls have the lead.
You've hit the sails and now you're whacked, and you need a fast and tasty snack. When they've won 5-0 in the cup, turn to McCain to fill them up. Quickety quick,
Microchips.
the boys are up out into town, but Vince says time to get some down. And when you get back from work late, 3 minutes flat there on your plate. Quickety quick,
Microchips.
McCain Microchips. Real chips, crickety quick.
Collect foils from special tubs of St Ivel Utterly Butterly and save up to £100 on a Thomas Cook holiday. Have you gone utterly butterly?
And they've won the 1998 World Cup here in France.
53-47, the Bulls have opened up a bit of an air gap here, and you voted for these guys. You said Jordan and you said Malone are the MVPs at the moment on our very own website, and they've had differing fortunes in this second half, haven't they, Jim?
Yeah, a little bit surprised at Malone. He's got a lot to prove. Here's Michael Jordan, you know, posting up. Again, you know, taking the initiative of getting some things going on the inside. And here's Maloney. I mean, he's started going pretty well after a while, but missing that layup just shows a little lack of focus. Surprised at him not coming out, all the media attention he's gotten, you know, really not appreciating it. You can tell he walked into the arena with the book in front of his face, and you know the whole thing. I thought he was really going to just have a terror of a game, and not happening.
And when we came back to the second half, the Bulls, look, they started very cold. There was 5 minutes there where you sensed the Jazz could have actually taken over this game. There's a big chance there to open up a bit of a gap for themselves.
I think Chicago's as far below their par as far as how they're playing tonight, and I thought that if Utah came out and played the way they should have played, they could possibly be blowing Chicago out at home, which would have been a tremendous statement of we're back in the, you know, we're back in this thing.
And there was their moment, and there was 5 minutes of it. They never really took it. And then suddenly, in the last minute and a half or so, we've seen the Bulls step it up yet again. It's the classic changing of gear with this team, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You know, we said that, you know, needed something to happen for either side, and bang, you know, Chicago started going, hit a couple of shots, and then Michael Jordan with that nice little flick pass to Pippen for a layup, and it's all starting to click for him now. See if Utah can actually, you know, stop this flow.
Absolutely, that's right. Both teams slow out the blocks at the start of this second half, but it looks like the Bulls might be starting to pull away a bit. Back to Iron and Mike.
Well, Webo and Coach, this is a critical time for the Jazz, and when it's a pivotal time, who do you go to? Your best player, Karl Malone.
And that's what I was saying before. Malone has to take it upon himself to do things himself, not worry about passing. He goes to the hoop there, gets a layup.
Cross court, Jordan to Kukoc. It's over the backboard, out of bounds.
Here's the play. It's a screen and roll. Isley has it there. Gets it back to Malone, and he doesn't waste any time. Just a couple dribbles right to the basket. The Bulls just helpless right there.
It's a 4-point Chicago lead. Just over 4 minutes left in the third. Isley was trying to fend off Ron Harper, and Harper will pick up the personal foul.
Boy, a foul like that, you're starting to call the game a bit too tight. And that might get the Bull defense to back off a little bit.
That's number 3 on Harper, 13 foul on the Bulls. Malone out on the perimeter, hands to Isley, gets into the lane. Hornacek the spin, the jumper. And Rodman the rebound.
Jordan really made that play. He got out at Hornacek and made him spin. Really put him off balance to put up that shot.
8th rebound of the night for Rodman. Jordan on a back end. Couple of pumps. Jordan connects.
He's unbelievable. Falling away, elevating. He knows he can score anytime he wants on Jeff Hornacek. So he's going to wait for the double team and try to find someone else.
23 points for Michael Jordan. And the Bulls lead is 6. Hornacek gives it up for Malone. He's guarded by Rodman. Isley. Maybe hesitated a bit too much. Malone, the jumper, with a shot clock winding down, but the Jazz catch a break. It came off of Kukoc, out of bounds.
2 things there, Ian. Number 1, the fact that Malone gets it to hit the rim, which resets the shot clock, and then Kukoc's not able to handle the rebound, so Utah has another chance.
55-49 Bulls. Isley looking to get Malone involved. There's the pick. Corner pass goes to Russell for 2. He drills it.
See the offense well spaced there. Stockton getting a long breather, and I'm not so sure that Sloan won't bring Stockton in to play alongside Isley.
Bulls with a 4-point advantage. Pippen dumps it to Harper, and a foul. It's called on the floor, but it doesn't matter. The Jazz are over the limit. So Ron Harper will be shooting free throws.
See, there's the play. Isley makes penetration, and the pass over. Good spacing. Everyone spread out pretty neatly. And then that right foot just a little bit on the line, which means it's only a 2.
Shannon Anderson has checked in for the Utah Jazz, replacing Jeff Hornacek. And Scott Burrell is into the game for Tony Kukoc. Quiet night for Kukoc. Just 6 points, 4 assists.
He's been a non-factor, and he missed a couple shots there. One went over the backboard. So what happens is that you go with Scott Burrell. Phil Jackson thinking Kukoc doesn't have it, so he gets Burrell in there.
Coming up, it will be Game 5, the Bulls and the Utah Jazz. 1 o'clock GMT, June 13th. Hope you can join us here on Channel 4. Harper missing on the free throw. And a foul.
Yeah, Rodman will get a foul there, Ian. It's only the 4th, so a side out. But Rodman wants to know why as he puts the palms up. Here's the missed free throw. Rodman coming in to get it. And he got underneath Russell a little bit, knocked him down.
So the next one will put the Bulls over the limit. For Rodman, his 2nd personal. Isley. Malone tried to give and go, but it was broken up. Jordan stepping in front. Lead feeds. Harper. And the Bulls slow it down. Rodman cuts into the lane, but he missed the layup. And Malone with the rebound.
I thought Malone got a little elbow in the gut of Dennis Rodman, too, there.
No call. Counting down to 2 minutes remaining in the third. 56-51 Bulls. Isley now matched up with Pippen. High screen Malone. Isley takes it himself with a left-handed scoop.
See, both Pippen, who's guarding Isley, and Malone guarded by Pippen. Both players went to Malone. Isley had the avenue, and he took advantage.
And the Jazz hanging tough. Howard Isley off the bench with 4 points to go along with 5 assists. 3-point Bulls lead. Pippen a 3. And a good box out by Anderson. It sets up a Utah break. Isley off for Russell. Going off the glass, it rims out. Rodman the rebound, and now the Bulls come out. And an ill-advised feed by Scott Burrell.
See, Jordan never made it back, so he was behind the defense. Burrell didn't see the transition defense of Utah, and he threw it right to them.
Just over a minute left in the third. Isley Gets around Harper. Ducks in. Tried the left-handed layup. Anderson came flying in, but it came off Chicago. Out of bounds. Jordan. Just cannot believe that call.
Yeah, Hugh Evans missed it. And Jordan let him know about it. 5 on the shot clock. The ball did not hit the rim.
So the Jazz will have to work quickly. Chris Morris is now in the game for Utah.
Good time to get Michael Jordan out. You have 1:14 left on. He'll sit here, sit 2 minutes during the break, and then maybe the first 2 minutes here of the fourth quarter.
Isley, 4 to shoot, 3 to shoot. The jumper, no. And Rodman now has 10 rebounds on the night. Harper out on the perimeter with Steve Kerr, who checked in for Jordan. Burrell on a curl, draws the foul, count the bucket.
Well, if you're going to foul, you have to make sure you don't give up a three-point play. I mean, Utah's played well throughout the game. Now they could go down 6 with a make from the line here. Robin, an excellent passer. Burrell moving without the ball. There's the foul, but make sure he doesn't get that ball to the rim if you're Utah.
Scott Burrell cannot hit the free throw. And Chris Morris crashing the boards for Utah. And the Bulls lead is 5. Isley running the offense with John Stockton on the bench. Isley goes behind the back with a dribble, takes it himself, and he'll go to the free throw line as he draws the foul on Kerr.
It's like Steve Kerr has a target on him. Whoever's guarding by Steve Kerr, the Jazz players are saying, I'll take him, and that's what Isley did there. Used a couple dribbles, made penetration, almost got the bucket to go. It didn't, so he shoots 2 free throws.
Isley yet to attempt a free throw tonight. In the postseason, though, he's shooting 90% from the line. Howard Isley hits on the first. He'll get another.
And it's like a vacation when you don't have Pippen or Michael Jordan guarding you. You get a guy like Kerr, you say, oh, okay, I got this guy on me, I'm going to go.
Isley, second attempt, is good. That is a 3-point Chicago lead. 35 seconds left in the third. Pippen backs up a 3. He's got it!
Big play for more than one reason. 29 seconds left when he put it up. That means Chicago will get the ball back.
About a 5-second difference. Shot clock to game clock as we wind down to the third. Bulls lead by 6. Isley 9 to shoot. Isley will have to make his move. 5 on the shot clock. Isley gets into the lane for the runner.
It was just Isley one-on-one against Steve Kerr again. Made him pay.
Final seconds. Pippen gets it across. 2 seconds. Harper couldn't handle it at the buzzer. And that's it. End of 3 in Chicago. And the Utah Jazz staying close. Can they make a run in the fourth? We will find out. Bulls 61, Jazz 57. This is Game 4 of the 1998 NBA Finals. Our coverage will continue from Chicago. The NBA on Channel 4 when we come back after these words.
The Peppers say that I, Serge Lapelle, leader of avant-garde style, now of competition. The Citroën Summer Exclusive Collection. They get up my nose with their cool new Xantia Sensation Limited Edition and its 16-valve engine. Air conditioning, CD auto changer, Uncle Thomas, Cobblies and all. 13995 smackers they ask.
You are seduced? Silly British peoples. I do this for your own good.
Xantia Sensation 13995.
Calm down. You've both got your reasons for loving them.
Because they're 90% fat-free.
Kellogg's Rice Krispie Squares are tasty gorgeous.
You tell him they're 90% fat-free.
Who cares? The taste champion. You tell her.
There she goes again.
If you just joined us, we're talking about these new Kellogg's Rice Krispie Squares. Rice Krispies entangled with melted marshmallow. Deliciously different.
But they're 90% fat-free.
Hello?
Don't patronize me.
They're anything but square.
61-57, a Chicago Bulls lead, and we show you a very rare bird indeed now, Jim. Here we go, Malone layup, and the scoring some points. There was his moment. This was not a great quarter for the Bulls, yet Utah didn't take advantage.
Yeah, I mean, he goes to bucket. The team hasn't been scoring well, and he takes it strong as he does very well. But, let's give Malone a little bit of credit. I mean, it's not just him, man. And he's been taking the flack, like you've been saying, in the media, and everyone giving the team criticism. It's all on his shoulders. Where are the rest of the guys? Yeah. He's not the only guy who, he's not the only all-star out there. So
absolutely.
From my point of view, fair enough, he's got to get going, but he can't win on his own. And I think a lot of these other players who were so prominent in the sweep of L.A. have gone to sleep and needed to give away the pillow and
they've
get
got
back to work.
themselves a massive quarter now ahead of them. But as I say, that wasn't a great Bulls third quarter there at all. Not one of their classics. There's a nice moment here from one of the young bench players, Scott Burrell, who doesn't get a lot of time, but shows some promise, this fella.
Yeah, I mean, he's been getting some minutes throughout the season, and it's nice when he can come in. Jordan's on the bench getting a rest. If he can make a bucket or two just to stem the tide until the main man comes back in there, great.
And that's what this little moment is around this third and the end of the third into the fourth, isn't it? Is when these guys, I mean, Ron Harper there, for example, there's one last chance for a play, would have been a crucial two. Let it slip through. These fellas need to fill these non-Jordan moments up properly, don't they?
Yeah, and very surprising, Harper. It's very frustrating because he's a veteran player who's been there before. He's an ex-All-Star. You expect him to at least be able to execute down the stretch, and he'll let the team down there with just a bit of Vaseline on the hands there, I reckon. And it went through his hands. So I think Jordan's got his rest. Probably need to rest Pippen as well before the end of the game, and see if they can keep it going.
Well, we imagine that, of course, it's going to be the classic situation of Michael sitting down for a few minutes there, but do you think the Bulls are pretty relieved that they got out of that quarter there with a lead still intact?
Yeah, I think so, Webbo and Coach. I think the Bulls expected a lot of the Utah Jazz here tonight. Certainly, they didn't think they could duplicate the performance of Game 3. And the Jazz have come out to play. Let's see how they respond here in the fourth. Malone missing on his first opportunity, with the Bulls in front 61-57. Just under 12 minutes of basketball remaining here in Game 4 of the 1998 NBA Finals. Burrell too strong on a jump shot, and the Jazz come away with a rebound.
Where Malone just missed his shot, then Burrell, I thought, put up a long one. A bad shot because the right foot on the three-point line. You might as well back up and go for the three.
Extended rest for John Stockton. Isley remains on the floor. Anderson passes out of the double. Morris is open to three. No good. Tapped up in the air. Ball is free. And a loose ball foul. It's going the other way. Shandon Anderson went for the steal.
Well, you can't get a better look from long range than what Chris Morris had there. He was awful in Game 3, too, shooting in that fourth quarter. It continues here.
So we'll reset the lineups for the Bulls. It's Pippen, Harper, Kerr, Rodman, and Burrell. Utah with Isley, Anderson, Russell, Malone, and Morris. Sloan still looking for that right combination. Pippen will back in. Aggressive move, and he's fouled.
You know what will happen here, Ian, as Russell makes the foul on Pippen. Pippen will get 2 free throws going to the hoops in the act of shooting. Phil Jackson won't hesitate anymore. He'll bring Michael Jordan in because in another 52 seconds or so, there'll be a timeout so Jordan can rest there also.
Free throws for Pippen. 24 points. But he is now 1 of 3 from the line. And here's Jordan. He replaces Harper. Jordan with 23 points on 8 of 19 shooting, 7 of 9 from the line. Pippen getting the second one to go. And the Bulls extend their lead, 62-57. Isley. Will he try to take advantage of that matchup with Kerr? High screen Malone. There's the roll. There's the pull-up. Malone is off the mark. Jordan the rebound. And Malone is now 9 of 20 from the field.
Yeah, team rebounding there, too. Rodman, Burrell, Pippen, all down there with Jordan who got it.
Jordan inside the arc. Russell hit the deck, and Jordan knocks it down.
I'll tell you what, Jerry Sloan has to think about a timeout here. His team has hung in there, but with a play like that, it looked like Michael Jordan just wants to take this game over right and now.
7-point Bulls lead. Anderson going down to the floor. Bodies have been flying. Malone is fouled by Rodman. It's called on the floor, so no free throws for Karl Malone.
See, Karl Malone settled for jumpers before that. Now look at Jordan and the pick set by Burrell, wide open. And you see that determinating look in his eye that I'm going to take this game over as he trots back.
Karl Malone has gone to the bench for a breather. Luke Longley checks in for Dennis Rodman. Antoine Carr is in the game for the Mailmen.
Well, Malone went out first, so what does Phil Jackson do? He says, all right, I'll take Rodman out so he doesn't commit any silly fouls not playing on Karl Malone.
Howard Isley attempting a three-pointer. And it goes over the backboard out of bounds. A timeout. 64 to 57. Bulls lead.
Want a mint? Try Wrigley's Extra Sugar-Free Gum.
If you like mint, you'll love them. And chewing's great for your teeth.
Wrigley's Extra, all the great taste of a mint.
Find love on the phone. Call the Singles Network on 0891 040404.
Aquatonic by Fabergé. When your pack of hungry little wolves come home from school, give them delicious Nutella on chunky bread and watch them turn into little lambs. Nutella, made with great tasting ingredients to help satisfy a healthy appetite.
Thanks, Mum.
Nutella helps satisfy a healthy appetite.
Fly to Australia from only £449 return.
Stroth.
For an Austravel brochure, call 0800 77 6655.
(64-57), just under 10 minutes to go in the final quarter of Game 4. And surprisingly, perhaps, we've seen Michael Jordan early in this quarter, but it's been a delight to see him as well because, Jim, he's looking warm.
Yeah, he is. I mean, you see him coming off the pick and roll, coming back against the grain, hitting a shot when the defender falls down. You know, he's so slippery. I mean, look at him. The guy goes down, and it's almost a guaranteed two. I think Jordan realizes how important this game is.
Yeah.
He probably said to the coach, to Jackson, listen, we've been through a lot, Phil. Put me in there because if we win this one, it's the killer blow. And, you know, let's just get it done right away.
Interesting enough, Jerry Sloan still needs to rest Karl Malone at this stage, though. And as Ian and Mike pointed out there, nice chance to sit Rodman down as well to prepare for that final onslaught. We've said it all the way through. John Stockton, Karl Malone, perhaps another minute on the bench, and then they really must show up.
The boys are getting old, you know.
Yeah, exactly. They've got to rest those old legs.
Aging stars, you know, and, you know, the key thing is you want to rest them at the right time so you don't lose the momentum, but yet and still have them so they're coming down the stretch, they're in there to do what they're there to do.
But once again, you know, the Jazz are simply not in the position that they surely felt they would have needed to be. They must have felt they'd need to be in the lead at this stage, defending a lead.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be ideal, but, you know, they're at least in it. You know, they're down by 7, you know, and as long as they kept it a single figure, certainly this portion of the game is a chance for them to win it. You know, again, their offense is struggling a little bit, and a lot of their scores like Hornacek and Stockton not really producing. And I think at this point, really, some of the pressure needs to come off of Malone. It's not just him. Some of the other guys need to pitch in.
Howard Isley's been a big backup for John Stockton all season. Had plenty of time out there working very hard. Do you think Jerry Sloan may take the big risk and leave him in there for a lot longer than normal?
Well, it's getting a bit late now. I mean, I don't know which way he's going to go, but I mean, you know, Anderson, Isley, the big dog, you know, has been playing very, very well in the preliminary playoffs, and I think that if these guys, some of those guys can step up and give him a spark, it'll be okay.
Okay, well, he's got some juggling to do as Jerry Sloan in these last minutes. Let's see how he does with his team. Back to you guys.
Off the Jordan miss, Utah controls it. Jazz have not had a field goal in the last 2.5 minutes of game action, but they do have some new players on the floor, including John Stockton. Jordan steps in front of that lazy pass from Anderson and comes away with a steal.
And you really have to watch out for a guy like Steve Kerr. Jordan will make something happen, and they like to get it out to Kerr, who hits that big, big three. A three-pointer here would put it at a 10-point game.
Pippen nearly traveled. High post, Longley, shot clock winding down. 2-1. Longley gets it off, but before he did, he's called for steps.
Yeah, that's about as ugly as a move as you'll see. See, the crowd started moaning here, and Luke Longley understands that he needed to go because the shot clock was winding down, and that was... Do not follow that move, folks.
We may have seen a couple of those out of you in your 8-year NBA career, huh?
Yeah, a couple traveling violations ensued, too.
Antoine Carr snaps the scoreless streak for Utah. And Carr gets on the board with his first point of the night.
And obviously Utah needed something there because they need to crack into the lead, not let Chicago get the lead any bigger. They're not a good come-from-behind ball club.
Post-up situation for Pippen. Lost the ball on the way up, and that's because Chris Morris pushed it.
They got the foul in the act of shooting, so Pippen will shoot. And Morris better be careful. He's very vocal out there to the officials. They already hit Jerry Sloan earlier in the game. They set a tone. And I like what the coach pointed out back in the studios. He said Michael Jordan knows about the killer instinct, and that's why he wanted to come back in the game. He sensed, I think, that Utah might have been down a little bit, and he wants to go for the kill right now.
Pippen hitting on the first attempt. The Bulls' lead is 6. Pippen. Now with 27 points and 9 rebounds. 66-59 Chicago. Crowd getting energized here at the United Center. Stockton off a double. Stockton, no-look feed. Morris, the jumper. He cans it. Chris Morris from deep.
He makes Michael Jordan pay for gambling. See, Jordan was just floating around looking to get a steal. Morris was open.
4 points for Morris off the bench. And the Bulls' lead is back down to 5. You see the bench scoring. Utah getting a lift. A breakdown defensively. Longley missed the layup. Ball knocked away and a foul. Oh.
And Ryan, I'm looking at Michael Jordan right now. He had his hands on his hips, and he was looking at Luke Longley like, come on, you have to make those shots. See, when Michael sees the double team, someone has to be open. Longley there, and he just blows the layup. Fortunately for him and the Bulls, he got fouled.
The man is 7'2".
And that's what Jordan will tell him. Don't flip it up there. Dunk the basketball as Malone and Hornacek get ready to come back in.
Longley. Rather inauspicious game 4 for Luke Longley as he gets his first point of the night.
And, you know, plays like that, Jordan will lose confidence in you, and he won't pass it to you anymore. He'll try to do it all himself.
(67-61). You know, we've seen that pivot position change with the Chicago Bulls from their first 3 championships to their last 2. How important is that role in the middle for the Bulls when you have Jordan and Pippen?
Well, it's important for opportunities like that, where Pippen or Jordan get double teamed. They want that big man to score those type of plays. And, of course, they want him to rebound and block shots on the other end. Bill Cartwright in the first 3 championships did very well.
There's a backdoor cut. Shannon Anderson. Great flip and a foul! What a difficult angle that was.
Similar type defense that Chicago put at Utah in game 3, where they would get Utah to turn the ball over. See Pippen roving around. That wasn't his man, Malone, down there, but he's roving around. His man was Anderson. Anderson went right to the goal. Stockton found him. A strong move. Now a chance for the 3-point play. And what Utah is doing here, Ian, is hanging around. They're keeping it close.
Substitution for Chicago. Tony Kukoc in for Scott Burrell. Anderson with a chance to complete a 3-point play. Shandon Anderson has cut into this Chicago lead. It's now 4. Jordan with Anderson. Rodman sets the screen. Jordan the pull-up. Rodman mistimed the jump, and the Jazz with an opportunity. Stockton will try to take it to Kerr. It's going the other way. Offensive foul.
John Stockton just barreled over Kerr, although the shot was blocked. Sloan doesn't like the call, but Pippen, it doesn't matter. If Stockton goes over Steve Kerr in that case, it negates everything.
Just 7 points in this quarter for the Jazz. All have been scored by the bench. Jordan looks. Bad pass, out of bounds. They thought Pippen was going to remain stationary. Instead, Pippen cut towards the basket. A timeout. 6:59 to play in the fourth. Bulls with a 4-point lead.
Cheers! What was that? That was cold.
Gentlemen, let me explain. I'm a freelance scientist. It's technically known as a judder. When the chill-filtered snaps in nets is served just above freezing, it kind of monkeys around with the body's periodontal atrium.
I think I've just had my first jugger.
Best of all, it's totally humane. Well, almost.
68-64, the Bulls have a 4-point lead, looking slightly flimsy at the moment because the Utah Jazz bench has started to get some points together for their team in this last quarter. One of which, the most spectacular one, was this one from Shannon Anderson, Jim.
Beautiful move. I mean, look at this underneath, pumps and flicks it off the glass, as they say, and it went down and got the foul as well.
Now, talked all the way through how strong the bench is for the Utah Jazz, and interesting enough, it's those guys at this crucial time that seem to be doing the job for them.
I think that Utah, that's the advantage that Utah has over the Bulls. I think their bench is stronger, and I think, as you said, they're starting to step up and make their presence felt.
Now, of course, we are going to see Jordan in the next few minutes start to get his thing going, but you can't overlook Scottie Pippen's contribution here tonight. I mean, top points and big rebounds.
Scottie Pippen, unfortunately, has played with Michael Jordan for his whole career, and because of that, he's always looked upon as the Tonto and not the Long Ranger.
Yeah,
and,
Jordan casts a giant shadow,
but he deserves to be respected, one of the best players who've ever played the game, and you know, obviously he can take over the game just like Jordan can.
Certain situations, you might expect this 4 points to be quite a strong 4 points, but Iron and Mike, at the moment, that 4 points looks a bit dubious.
Yeah, it could be. 68-64. The Bulls have not played well here in the fourth, gentlemen. Shooting only 20%. Crowd trying to play a role. John Stockton left alone, and he cans the jump shot.
And the reason why he's alone is Malone set a screen on Steve Kerr and knocked him down. And there he is limping. He went to the floor, and Stockton with the wide open jumper.
It is a 2-point Chicago lead. 6.5 to play in the fourth. Pippen makes his move. Hornacek trying to stick with him. Pippen on a fadeaway. Rodman taps the ball to himself. And a jump ball has been called.
Yeah, they call a jump ball or a foul. I think a foul first.
Oh, it is the foul.
Watch the pick there by Malone. Knocks Steve Kerr down. See, Rodman has to stay with Malone. He backs up. Stockton wide open.
Foul has been called on Shandon Anderson. Utah is over the limit.
And that might help Utah in this case, that they put Rodman, not a very good free throw shooter at all, at the line to shoot 2, with the Bulls only winning by 2.
Shooting 57% during the postseason. Dennis Rodman. Can't hit the first.
All right, if you're Utah right now, and Jerry Sloan, their head coach there, you have to be ecstatic. I mean, it looked like the Bulls in this quarter, when they took a 7-point lead with possession, were ready to take over. And Utah's come right back. And, oh, actually, Rodman gets a little roll there.
So he splits a pair of free throws. Rodman now with 2 points on the night. And the Bulls lead is 3. Stockton continues the dribble. Harper trying to stick with him. He jarred the ball loose. Stockton goes down to the floor. Harper comes away with it. Bulls running the break. And Pippen will slow it down.
And that's why Harper's in the game, and it caused havoc for John Stockton.
Utah turns it over for the 11th time. Jordan finds an opening. And a foul. Michael Jordan, that explosive first step.
See this? Watch Harper's arm. He actually used his leg, too, to get the ball. Then the dive. Both players had a chance. Harper comes up with it. And he starts to break the other way.
5:47 to play in the fourth. Jordan is 7 of 9 from the line tonight. He misses on the front end.
See, when you start missing free throws, you lose concentration. And because of that, it's all fatigue. Jordan has to be getting tired there. Stockton trying to set up the next call.
Jordan missing on the second attempt as well. Wow, uncharacteristic to say the least. Utah with Karl Malone handling the ball. Action away from the ball and a whistle. Ronnie Harper called for the personal.
See, you saw Stockton before talking to the official saying Harper was doing this or doing that. Well, they caught it.
That's the fourth personal on Harper. Third team foul.
Boy, the Bulls look like an old team on that possession defensively. I mean, that's about as sharp a play as you'll see out of bounds.
Shandon Anderson getting the basket. And now it's a one-point game. Anderson went for the steal with 5:17 left. He knocked it out of bounds.
I would think about Phil Jackson looking at a timeout here just to let his players sit down for a second, because they have not made some good plays at all.
Jordan, his team just 1 of 6 shooting here in the fourth. Kukoc is open, long jump shot. And Stockton steps in front for the rebound. The Jazz can take the lead. Stockton off for Morris, leading in for the layup. Utah up by 1.
Well, Phil Jackson just sitting there, too. See, Utah has the step on. They look a bit fresher than Chicago.
70-69 Jazz. Kukoc working the perimeter. Jordan. Bulls regain the lead.
Well, if you need a hoop, who else but Michael Jordan comes through?
27 points for Jordan. 71-70 Bulls. 4.5 left in the fourth. Stockton working off the screen. Stockton being chased by Harper. Stockton with a shot clock at 9. Works his way in, but he missed the layup. Rodman the rebound. And the Bulls taking their time, showing patience with a 1-point lead. Harper will back in, using the body on Stockton, and a foul call. Ron Harper will be heading to the free throw line. The Jazz are over the limit.
I don't know if that's the play before when Shandon Anderson went to the hoop. I don't know why they would show it now. A lot has happened. But here's the pass by John Stockton, the beautiful pass. And watch Morris go directly to the rim. And that's when Utah got the lead. But Jordan simply erased that with the jumper before. But I'm going to say this, Ian. You don't normally hear this. I think John Stockton has to come out of the game. He's not making good plays as Harper misses the free throw. I think the Jazz should come back with Howard Eisner.
I would be shocked if Jerry Sloan decides to make that move.
See, he's not able to go against Ron Harper. Harper has done a great job stopping him. And he's making those plays where he gets up in the air again, undecided whether to pass or shoot, and he's not completing the play.
14 years in the NBA, John Stockton has waited for moments like this. I don't know if Jerry Sloan is going to deprive him of that. You may be right, Mike, but I'd be very surprised. 72-70 Bulls. Malone trying to set up shop on the interior. Hornacek looking to the inside. Shot clock at 7. Malone the back hit on a kick out. Stockton can't hit it for 3, and it's rebounded by Jordan.
That's a great shot by Stockton, wide open. Got the ball inside, and he was wide open, just didn't hit it.
Jordan working off the Rodman screen. Harper, mid-post, Jordan. Jordan the spin, the fadeaway. And Malone the rebound. Stockton will get it across. Hornacek driving in for the layup. We're tied.
See, Jordan never got back on defense, and John Stockton took advantage by getting the ball up quick to Hornacek. This is some game.
Tied at 72. Just over 3 minutes left. Game 4 here at the United Center. Pippen strokes it a 3. Rodman the offensive rebound. And the foul called on Shandon Anderson. As we talked about earlier, Utah, though, not complaining about Rodman going to the line. Timeout. Bulls 72. Jazz 72. The fourth quarter will continue. We'll have it for you right here on Channel 4. Stay with us.
You know, you can recognize authentic Devon folk with a very simple test. A country squire, which is the tastiest way to serve ambrosia custard cold.
Is it option A? Or is it option R?
Correct. Ambrosia custard. Devon knows how they make it so creamy.
New pretzel flips from Nestle. Crunchy, savory pretzels covered in chocolate.
Chocolate-covered pretzels. What do they take us for? I mean, what's next? Custard chilies? Toffee anchovies? We're not mugs, you know.
I love you, but I do.
Nestle pretzel flips. You'll like them, but you won't know why.
If you hadn't got the point before, I'm sure you have now. There's under 3 to go. It is 72 apiece. It is the pivotal fourth game. The whole thing could rest on this one in the next 3 minutes. And, Jim, we've seen Utah doing and continue to do what they would have hoped they've got is their bench keep showing up for them. Once again, Shandon Anderson and also Chris Morris.
Yeah, I mean, those guys have, you know, Morris more so was surprising to me than Anderson, because he did a great job in the previous series. But, you know, they're getting the bench scoring, and they're also getting, you know, the Hornacek and then Stockton scoring a bit now, too. So you're starting to get their repertoire going. It's looking pretty good, going back to the fundamentals, as they talked about earlier, and it's looking pretty good for them.
Now, the worrying thing for the Bulls would be is that, I say worrying, I mean, the very point is that they would expect to be winning a game from here on their own court, won't they? But they've got to be worried. There's got to be something in the back of their mind niggling away at them now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, Utah's picked up now. They're starting to look pretty good, and they're playing well. And Chicago, it's crunch time now. We affectionately call this crunch time.
Yes.
You know? And the best players step up and do what they have to do, and the best teams cut down on the turnovers and maximize on the opportunities, and it's all there for the taking.
That's right, and Dennis Rodman's on the free throw line, and we think he's had a pretty decent game here today. Let's see how it goes in these final crucial 3 minutes in this series.
13 rebounds for Dennis Rodman tonight. Rodman, though, of course, has struggled with his free throw shooting. As that one rolls in.
Puts the hands up like, oh, my goodness. Look at the smile. It's a one-point game, Ian. This is not the other night where it was about a 50-point game now.
And he hits them both. 74-72 Bulls. The final 2 minutes and 50 seconds of Game 4. Stockton guarded by Harper. Off the screen. Stockton continues the dribble. Shot clock is down to 10. Bullet feed. Morris on the inside, and he draws the foul as the layup rimmed out. So Chris Morris will be heading to the free throw line with key tosses coming up.
I'll tell you what, a better pass, Morris would have been able to lay that in, but he had to wait for it, and it was low. He handled it and finally did get fouled, so he's up there to tie the game.
Morris, his first attempt tonight. He hits. 1 point game. Steve Kerr comes back in for Ron Harper. Bill Jackson will try to go offense-defense as often as possible here in the final 2+ minutes of action. Morris missing on the second attempt, and the Bulls have a 1 point lead with the ball.
Everything's magnified now. You get Rodman to hit 2, and Morris goes 1 of 2.
Jordan hands for Pippen. Jordan in a post-up with Anderson. The Jazz stay at home. Jordan leaning in for the deuce.
And I'm shocked, they didn't bring someone over to Michael Jordan to get it out of his hands, because you know what he can do. He's been in these situations a million times.
29 for Michael Jordan. 3-point Bulls lead, 2 minutes left. Stockton, risky pass on the inside, but the Bulls touched it last. Scott Burrell.
And see, Harper will come back now. Dead ball situation, Harper comes back to play defense.
He'll come in for Steve Kerr. You'll see a lot of this in dead ball situations the rest of the way. The Jazz hold on to the ball with 11 seconds left on the 24-second shot clock.
Crucial possession here for Utah to stay within the game.
And a breakdown by the Bulls defense as Malone found Morris underneath the basket.
And I love what Morris did there. He didn't flick it up on him. He dunked it home.
Bulls lead by 1. Things are tight with under 2 minutes left. Harper for Pippen. This is Jordan time. Jordan on a back end. Great spin move to the rim.
Again, no double team. Michael Jordan fake to the middle. The defense fought it. He goes right to the rim again.
3-point Bulls lead. Stockton. Pippen was there defensively. Stockton in some trouble. Morris a 3. No good. Popped up in the air. Malone couldn't grab it. And a loose ball foul over the back.
It's going to be Chicago ball, and it went out of bounds first. Boy, Jordan with a great spin move there.
Jeff Hornacek is called for the loose ball foul.
And there's the spin move again that Jordan makes to get the other deuce.
It sends Pippen to the line. Rimming out on the first attempt.
See, Jerry Sloan probably will call a timeout here, make or miss by Pippen. But Scottie Pippen doesn't get the Bulls the 4-point lead. He has a chance now.
Pippen hits. And the Jazz will continue to play, trailing by 4. A minute 15 remaining. Fans rise to their feet. Stockton Malone. Stockton the drive. Knocked away. Hornacek is there and buries the jump shot for 2.
Boy, Stockton made it happen on the baseline that time. Looked like it was knocked away from him. He throws it out to Hornacek.
Timeout, Chicago. 59.8 seconds left. We are in the 4th. The Bulls 79, the Jazz 77.
Well, there's the shot by Hornacek. Boy, just on that red line, and that would have been a 3. Stockton does a good job. It gets knocked away. Actually, just got knocked away to Hornacek.
Quite a different story from Game 3 to Game 4 as we send it back to the studio and Mark Webster.
Thanks very much indeed, chaps. And you suspect there, Jim, don't you? Hornacek misses that one. It's all over. He makes it. Now it isn't.
Great. I mean, set up a great finale to the game. Under a minute. You know, Chicago will come back down, see if they can score. You know, you don't know which way it's going to go. I'm going to ask a question
please,
down to the guys on the court. I mean, you know, with it being pretty sporadic as to who's been the scorer for Utah down the stretch, who do you think, if Chicago misses or gets maybe 1 point out of it, who do you think they're going to go to down the stretch for the next shot?
Coach, I think that what they'll do is they'll go to their pick and roll, their screen and roll offense. It's worked for them in the past, and what's happened off that screen and roll, it's not necessarily Stockton or Malone, it's been Hornacek or Russell or Shandon Anderson. So I think that's the route they'll go.
And obviously it's a 2-point difference at the moment. I mean, when you look around there, guys, I mean, do you get the feeling that the Bulls may have this one where they want it? I mean, obviously there's still a lot of plays to go, but they've still got their noses in front. That's crucial at this stage, isn't it?
Yeah, it is crucial, Webbo, but I don't think the Bulls feel like they've got this one in hand. I'll just go back to Game 2, where I think Utah may have sensed that they were going to win that game in the final 2 minutes or so, and it didn't happen that way. Things can change so quickly in this game, and if the Utah Jazz can come up with a big defensive play, come back the other way, maybe take the crowd out of this game, who knows? Maybe they're right back in this series.
And of course, gentlemen, there as well, what we've seen in this last quarter is, which could end up being crucial, is a lot of missed free throws, and from men that you wouldn't expect it to happen from.
Yeah, you're right. These two teams have not shot the ball well from the field or from the free throw line. The numbers don't lie. The Bulls are 62% from the line so far tonight. And the Jazz, on the other hand, 67%. Those two teams are much better than that normally. But hey, you get into a pressure situation, and maybe guys start to feel a little bit tighter than usual.
And Jim, a guy that we mentioned at the start, who started well but has gone a bit quieter, is Tony Kukoc. This could be a moment for him as well, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, he hasn't been in there for a while. It'll be interesting to see if Jackson keeps him in there or gets him in there. But, you know, I think it's been more defensive-oriented as far as Chicago's concerned. Tony, one of probably the deficiency is not a great defender.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a big possession for Chicago, and then they want to put some defense on it.
Absolutely right. Crucial seconds in this game 4. Let's get back to it.
59.8 seconds left. Bulls 79. Jazz 77. Offensive rebounds. It's been Chicago in the second half.
I love the timeout by Phil Jackson. And now Jackson calls a 20-second timeout. Something went wrong, but this play will come to Michael Jordan. He will get possession of the ball somewhere along the 18 seconds that are left in this possession. And if they can make it a 4-point game, that really puts the pressure on Utah to score, because this has been unbelievable. I love the timeout. Watch Jordan go to work. If he gets double-teamed, they'll give the ball up.
This series, of course, is not over yet. Win or lose for the Bulls, with Game 5 coming up a couple of nights from now. Where has Karl Malone been in the fourth quarter? The mailman has not scored in the final period of play.
Well, he has to come through. It's not over yet. He can still make some plays. I mean, Michael Jordan has made the last 4 for Chicago. He's come up big. Karl Malone has to deliver some points for Utah to get over the hump here. This is a crucial defensive possession for Utah, and on the other hand, with the ball, the Chicago Bull offense has to get a score here.
Bulls lead by 2. The officials huddling up at midcourt. Phil Jackson eavesdropping. Jack Neese, Hugh Evans, Steve Javie.
I don't understand this. I mean, it was a timeout. You should let the guys come out and play. This could throw your timing out a little bit.
And here's the timeout situation. Utah with 3 full timeouts, 1:20. Chicago with 2 full remaining. Jeff Hornacek is on the bench for defensive purposes. Jerry Sloan has made a change. Here we go. Jordan will trigger in. His team up by 2, just under a minute to play in the fourth. Jordan handling the ball. Kerr on the outside. Shot clock is down to 10. Jordan, the back in on Russell. Jordan leaning in. He missed the shot. Rodman couldn't grab it, and a foul has been called.
I think it's on the mailman, He threw Rodman down.
Oh, what a crucial call that turns out to be.
And Rodman will go back to the free throw line. What hustle Rodman showed. He knew Michael Jordan would make something happen. Let's keep an eye on Rodman against Malone. He's getting position, bounding in. They're tied up. Watch Malone throw him down. Actually, Rodman was so smart, he hooked his arm around, and Malone had no other choice because Rodman was going down first.
Let's see how he responds at the line. Hitting the first. Dennis Rodman.
Sloan will call a timeout here, make or miss. He'll want to pick up the 40 or so feet. He'll get it at half court after the timeout.
He hits both. Timeout, Utah. Exactly what the Jazz did not need. Dennis Rodman hitting a pair of free throws, not only giving this crowd something to cheer about, but more importantly, giving the Bulls a 4-point advantage.
It happened the way the game started. Remember when Pippen scored those threes off offensive rebounds? That's an offensive rebound there for Rodman. He gets fouled. He hits the 2 free throws.
Webo and Coach, this crowd is rocking. They can taste victory.
That's right. This is your classic United Centre crowd. They only bother getting going when it really matters. But the amazing thing here we have, Jim, is that you said during the course of this one they'll be quite happy to have Dennis Rodman in the game, the Jazz, because he's the man they're going to want to foul. And what happens? 2 NBNs, 2 nothing but nets from it.
Shooting 50+ percentage-wise from the free throw line is a horrid statistic, but he hits the 2. You know, hits 2 earlier as well, and looks to become the hero of the game up from the foul line.
And how about this classic piece of Rodman hustle?
Yeah, he baited the referees there, and Karl Malone as well, and Karl fell for it, so the referees got him on the foul line, which wasn't a terrible thing for the Utah's standpoint, but he knocks him down. It's like the goalkeeper scoring, you know, in the last minutes of a football match.
Absolutely. I mean, chaps, I mean, are you surprised that Karl Malone got suckered into that play? I mean, I heard you say there, Mike, obviously, that he kind of had little choice, but this is a couple of old pros. They know what they're doing, don't they?
Yeah, what Karl Malone should have done, it's easy for me to say, is that as Rodman was pushing him in, is to push him right back out, to leave space there. So the ball, instead of coming into Rodman's hands, would have fell on the floor, or Malone would have grabbed it. He got suckered in initially to get pushed inside. And then when Rodman wraps around and falls down, the official sees Rodman flop down. He will make the call. And so, like Coach said, I'm shocked that Rodman hit the 2 free throws, but he really concentrated.
And the thing about Rodman is he's been doing it for so many years. 14 rebounds here tonight. He always seems to know when the big moments are coming and seems to come up big in those moments. Rodman and Malone getting tied up.
And there's the play. Watch him go down. See, he's locked up. There's no other choice. And Rodman was the one that fell, Ian, because he had his arms locked to Karl Malone. He just outsmarted the mailman there.
This is the biggest possession of Utah's season.
The crowd, Ian, is going nuts here.
Jazz trailing 81-77. 38 seconds left in the fourth. Stockton. Hesitation drive. Reverse layup. No good. Tapped up in the air. Malone flies in. Loose ball, and Chicago has it. Kukoc is fouled by Russell. Oh. Did Utah ever need that one, and they just could not convert?
Well, John Stockton did what he was supposed to do. He had a wide open lane down the side. Here he comes. See, Rodman leaves. It's wide open. You have to make this shot. He just didn't pull the trigger. All right, Rodman again battling, tips it out of there. And Harper finally look at this pass by Harper. He throws it up there to free himself, and Kukoc gets fouled.
John Stockton and Karl Malone. In the fourth quarter, the Jazz desperately needed all-star Hall of Fame performances from those 2 players, Stockton and Malone, and they didn't get it. Instead, the Bulls have got this one in control. Couple of free throws, and the Bulls now lead it 83-77. Timeout Jazz with 26.6 left.
All right, they did what they had to do. They got the stop. Chicago did defensively. They make their free throws, and they're going to go up 3-1 in this series and put an awful lot of pressure, a ton of pressure on Utah.
It appeared as if things were working out as the Jazz had planned. In that loose ball situation, Rodman and Malone battling, it looked like Utah had a chance to come away with that basketball. It didn't happen. Instead, it leads to 4 more Bulls points and trouble for the Jazz. Webo, Utah, they've got a lot of climbing back here to get a victory at the United Center. It doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, they'll do very well to conjure something out of this, and I'm curious, fellas, obviously you can see him a lot closer than us. There was a kind of look of resignation in Karl Malone's eyes on the Rodman foul, and then when he was going back to the bench. This is just not happening for the man, is it?
Yeah, I don't think he can really compute what's happening to him. He has been so successful as an NBA player, but for whatever reason, when it comes time to actually get the job done, championship time, Karl Malone cannot answer the bell, and I'm sure it's discouraging to him. It's discouraging to Jazz teammates and Jazz fans and people that are involved with that team, but it's really hard to explain. This is a man that is so dominant in the regular season, but when it comes time to actually do it in this kind of situation, he's not capable of actually coming through.
Yes, that's interesting in it, Ian, and Jim, this is the point, isn't it, is that, you know, people want to talk about Malone as being a great player, which, you know, that he is an all-star and all this. He's never been able to deliver over the final hurdle in these races.
Yeah, but, you know, part of it, you know, I look at it and look at the format of their team and everything. You know, Karl Malone is a dominant player, but, you know, they're known for being a great team. Okay, and now it seems like in the playoffs, they always go to him to carry him in front of the media if anything goes wrong, as a spokesman, leadership, all those sort of things. And that's the thing that though Jordan, you know, he's the only player I can think of that could really dominate in that situation day in and day out. All the other championship teams have had several people you can go to. If one of the leaders is not playing well, you can go to another guy. And Utah don't seem to have that. It's always Malone, and it's tough for him to do that because obviously everyone knows that.
Yeah, well, not many seconds left here. It's a big base during the regular season. It goes to the pointy end when it gets down to it. Not many seconds left now, as Ian and Mike were saying, for Utah to save this game. Let's see how it goes.
26.6 remaining. Bulls 83, Jazz 77.
I think Utah needs a 3 here, Ian. They have to get it back to a one-possession game.
Stockton. Pull up for 3. No. Malone, offensive rebound, reset. Russell, he can't hit the 3. A scrambled situation. Bulls have it. Jordan is fouled, and this one is all but over.
Well, they had 2 looks. Stockton and then Russell, neither one go. Jordan finally gets it, and Jordan would hold it because he knew he would be fouled, and he'll go back to the free throw line. And back to the point with Malone, Ian. Somehow, somewhere in the fourth quarter of this game, if Utah was going to win, he had to take the responsibility offensively. He just didn't do it for whatever reasons. I'll give Chicago some credit, but somewhere he had to do it. He didn't do it, and Utah will lose.
Mike, it's a tag that he's going to have a very difficult time shaking. Karl Malone, it's tough criticism because he's such a gifted player.
He MVP of the league last year.
And also, the comparisons are not fair. When you compare him to this man, the greatest player ever in the NBA, everybody falls short to some degree. Jordan hits a free throw, and Utah will take another timeout. For all intents and purposes, though, this one is over with 15.7 seconds left. Malone may be the second best player in the NBA today, but there is a big drop-off from the top player to the number 2 player.
Yeah, you just can't match anybody with Jordan. He's just head and shoulders above the whole league. And when it gets to be guts of the game time, he normally takes over. And that's a credit to him, and that's why they've won 5 titles, and it looks like with one more game after this, Ian, they might get their 6th. They call it repeat the 3-peat.
And we've talked about it quite a bit. When the Bulls smell blood, when the Bulls feel like they could actually stick the dagger in the heart of the opponent, they normally do it. And with a potential 3-1 lead, and that's what they would have with a victory here tonight, I think the consensus would feel that the Bulls will win this series here at home.
They just don't want to go back to Utah and talk about smelling blood. Game 5 coming up on Friday night. Chicago will give everything they have to try to win that in front of their fans here at the United Center in the city of Chicago to win a 6th championship.
What an effort from Scottie Pippen. 28 points, 9 rebounds. And Pippen's team now comfortably in front with 15.7 seconds left. We talked about it earlier, how quickly things can change. This was just a 2-point game moments ago. And then everything just clicked into place for the Bulls.
Well, Utah needed a stop. They didn't get it. Rodman went to the line, hit 2 free throws, give them a 4-point lead. And then they got 2 more, make it a 6-point lead. Now Jordan with a free throw makes it 7. This is over. And Rodman really, even though he went to wrestling and all that the other night, when he steps on the floor, he does what he has to do to help the team win.
Well, that's the hard part in criticizing Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman, when it's time to play, more often than not, he shows up to play. 14 rebounds tonight. The Bulls on the cusp of taking a 3-1 lead. 12 seconds left. Malone, long jump shot. He drills it. It's a two-pointer, though. Karl Malone, his first points of the fourth quarter. Too little, too late. 5.8 seconds left. And a foul has been assessed. John Stockton on Michael Jordan. Free throws coming up. The Bulls lead by 5.
Boy, that's about the toughest shot Karl Malone has hit all night. I mean, the defense all over him. He was kind of on one leg and still had the ability to get it up there.
Here's Jordan. Utah was going for the equalizer tonight. They will come up short. 6 points, Chicago lead. Malone does have that look of resignation, as does Stockton. They're searching for answers. Jordan hits another. 35 points for Jordan. Final seconds. Stockton gets it across. Stockton the bounce. The jumper. Russell hits it from long range. And it's over. Utah finds itself in a gaping hole as Chicago takes a commanding 3-1 lead in the series. They'll have a chance to wrap it up right here at the United Center. 86-82. That's the final. The Bulls win it. As we send it back to the studio, Webbo and the coach.
Thanks very much indeed, Ian and Mike. As they say, you couldn't ask for a more dramatic moment. They're going to go for 6, and they've got a chance to do it in their own house, which, Jim, is exactly the way they're going to want it. And not just because it's the perfect moment for them to do it in front of their home crowd, but also they've got no way they're going to want to go to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, it's a madhouse up there. You know, it's a terrible place to play as an opponent, and the crowd is much more boisterous and effervescent than the Chicago crowd is. And I think they want to wrap it up in the next game, obviously. Yeah.
We've once again, you know, we heard Karl Malone before this game started saying it's time for us to step up. We know that the Jazz are a side that concentrate hard. They can play with a lot of energy and a lot of passion. And once again, they've not delivered, and missing has been the big issue for them this evening.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's been a lot of missed shots. I don't think either side played well offensively today. I mean, Chicago missed a lot of free throws today, but you see the open shots that normally Utah knocked down, which would have made the game a much different story.
And the crucial one, I suppose, of all those misses came from the man that we said had to do it in this second half, was John Stockton.
Yeah, coming off the dribble, which is, you know, pick and roll, which is his forte, either going to the bucket or passing, the lane was open, and he usually finishes that. He's such a great finisher and making a great decision at that last moment, whether to score and pass, and that didn't come off, and it's just, you know, exemplified what happened to the whole team all night.
That was simply, that was his moment, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
And Jerry Sloan surely could have expected his guys, you know, Malone and Stockton, as you say, they can't do it all by themselves, but they've got to do something.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, Chicago didn't have a great game. I mean, it wasn't, you know, a vintage game for Chicago, and I think it was a game that Utah, had they been able to play their own game and get out of the blocks well and sustain it, could have quite easily won. Matter of fact, probably winning going away, but it didn't happen.
Once again, MJ steps up. Had himself another fine game alongside his usual operating partner, Scottie Pippen.
That's right, the dynamic duo, you know, Long Ranger and Tonto, and they've put together 3 great games in a row, and you know, that's why Michael Jordan is so big. People ask, you know, around the world, why do the Americans make such a big thing over this guy? Because in no other sport I've ever seen in my life, the best player head and shoulders above all the rest, the number 2 player, the number 3 player, the rest of his peers in the basketball world can't even carry his boots, and that's basically the whole story.
This is true. Well, my big hero for the night is Dennis Rodman, making 2 crucial free throws. Scottie Pippen knows how crucial they were, and it's not necessarily Dennis's forte. His forte was making sure that Karl Malone fouled him at a crucial time, and he got away with it. Absolutely fabulous effort. Jim, we'll see you on Friday night. Thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much
See you
for
then.
having me. Yeah.
That's right. Jim Brannan will be back. We'll have Ian and Mike as well. We are back in the United Centre. It is a big chance for the Bulls to get themselves the 6th championship, and you can watch it live here on Channel 4. See you Friday.
Nice and early.
78, 79, 80, 10 more.
we must have is one team. That the men they're going out there as one man. So that when we get out there in that flow, it's not each individual doing their own thing. The thing moves together like one body. Arm and leg and eye flowing together in unison.
Make some noise, Jamaica, going to win the World Cup!
Sport, and more sport coming up, including, strangely, mud, glorious mud. Another change to our published programmes. Trans World Sport is next.
There's an important difference between loafing and laziness. Loafing is a noble art form which has to be worked at, but can give you success without the stress.
Harrow, let me buy you a drink, old man.
Thanks, I'll have another. You see, and once you've mastered its finer points, you can just sit back and enjoy life's pleasures. Like Strongbow, maximum refreshment, minimum effort. Lovely. Loafing, you should try it, it's great. Eaton? Thanks very much, I'm starving. Table for two, please. Whew, that was close. Nearly hit the antique.
Who knows what tomorrow may bring? Welcome to the future. She sells seashells, new shades by CoverGirl, pink shells, sand castles, silver plums, and everything is sun-kissed. A fresh idea, a fresh face to the world. Easy breezy, beautiful CoverGirl.
Well, our published programmes have changed tonight to accommodate the NBA finals. So, contrary to your listings, now on 4, Trans World Sport.
Sport on 4 with Volkswagen Chiron. Puts you where no one else does.
This week on Trans World Sport,